Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mingus, and it's time to talk about some more Fire Emblem Three Houses news. We have a crap ton of information about Cindered Shadows, the 4th DLC wave, to talk about, and it's going to be out like just a few days from now, so we better hurry. I am really sorry for not covering this news earlier. I know it's been out for some time now, but I've just had a ton of things on my plate. I haven't had time to sit down and like sink my teeth into it, but now we're here. So let's take a look. And before we start, a lot of people have been wondering, what am I gonna do once it's out? Am I going to play it on the channel? I'm probably going to stream it, and I'm probably going to stream at least the Cindered Shadows part, and, you know, if I'm having fun, maybe I'll actually continue and, like, do the rest of the game. We'll see. I did say I was going to take a break from Three Houses, so I'm a little bit undecided. It depends on how much I'm enjoying the route. I'm not really decided on what difficulty I'm going to play on yet, or if I'm going to do New Game Plus or not New Game Plus. I really don't know. Maybe I'll let the chat decide. Anyway, let us get into all the news, shall we? So let's start off this video by talking about Cindered Shadows and Abyss Mode. How are we going to play it? How do we unlock it? What is it? And how will it interact with the main story? A lot of people, myself included, were very confused when they brought out Abyss Mode, because we thought maybe they were adding a 5th route or like a 4th house at the start of the game, but that is apparently not how it's going to be working. It seems like we'll be entering Abyss Mode through the menu. When you start up a new game, you'll get the option to select Abyss Mode, and at some point during part 1 of the game, you will be walking down into the Abyss with a bunch of students. I think we've seen Claude and Hilda and Linhardt, might be a few more. And down in the Abyss, you will be encountering the Ashen Wolves and the 4 new students, Constance, Yuri, Happy, and Baltus. Now, while you're down in the Abyss, I do believe that you will not be able to leave until you complete whatever quest is down there, because it says here in this article that resources down in the Abyss will be limited. They're doing sort of like a conquest thingy here, where you don't just have access to whatever you desire. Or money, everything, you will need to manage. In fact, your Sword of the Creator will be gradually repaired in between certain intervals, probably to throw you a bone, because there will be monsters down there and you won't have access to a lot of ore, so they just want to make sure that you don't run out of resources that way, and at least, you know, they'll repair your sword a little bit. So, while you are down in the Abyss, it seems like you won't be able to leave. However, once you complete the side story and you go back to the main story, you will be able to go back down into the Abyss and explore it during monastery exploration phases. There will probably be facilities down there that you can spend activity points on. I don't know about that. And of course, also once you're done with Cindered Shadows, you will be able to go down there and recruit the 4 students into your main house. They all have requirements that you need to fulfill to recruit them, just like other students. I assume you can also build supports with them. I think once you get the B rank support, they'll come and seek you out on their own like the other students. So they'll work exactly like regular students after the side story is completed. In fact, all 4 of them have time skip designs. So, or post time skip designs, I mean. So they'll be acting completely like normal students. But while you are down in the Abyss, you cannot just tutor them to your heart's content or unlock whatever class you want on them. They'll apparently have set classes. You can reclass between them, but you can't take exams to turn them into whatever you want. However, once you're done with the Cindered Shadows, I do believe that you will be able to bring them up into the monastery and tutor them just like you would tutor other students. So all these things leads me to believe that once you are done playing the Cindered Shadows, you will then continue onwards with the route of your choice. And of course we have the 4 routes. We have Blue Lions, Black Eagles, and Golden Deer. And in the Black Eagles, of course, we have the Church route or the Edelgard route. And so yeah, once you're sort of done with that, you can move on into the main story. But of course, your main story will forever be changed by the decisions that you make during Cindered Shadow. So it seems like whatever happens in Cindered Shadows is going to happen very early on in the game. It will, of course, be happening after you get your Sword of the Creator, but probably before you do the Sothis merge, because all the screenshots we see of Byleth down there, he has his pre-Sothis hair. So yeah, I estimate probably around chapter 5 or 6 or 7 is probably when you'll be going down there. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting and very different story. And I'm very much looking forward to what's going to happen down there. It seems like the Abyss is under attack by someone, so that's interesting. We'll be reading more into that later. Then let's take a look at the 4 new classes that we will encounter in Cindered Shadows. They're all classes that we've seen before in previous Fire Emblem games, in particular Awakening. And the 4 new classes are Trickster, Warmonk, Dark Flyer, and Valkyrie. And each of these classes will be represented by one of the new students. So Yuri is of course the Trickster, Baltus is the Warmonk, Constance is the Dark Flyer, and Happy is the Valkyrie. Now, in order to promote into these special classes, you need an item called the Underground Seal, which are seals I assume you'll find in the Abyss. Maybe you'll be able to get them in a main story, maybe even buy them from the Sequel shop eventually, but I think it's going to be more like the Dark Seals, where they will be very rare, and you won't be able to get as many of them as you want. So, let's talk about the Trickster first. Of course, Yuri is the Trickster, and, you know, they were a class that you could find back in Awakening. Gangrel, the Mad King, he was a Trickster. They wield swords and staves, and they also have a really cool combat art that allows them to swap places with an ally within 5 spaces. And it also seems like the Trickster is able to move after doing the swap, so they can swap and then move, which is absolutely insane. That is going to give them some crazy utility. So many strats you can pull up with that. It's like a warp and a rescue in one, plus extra movement. Like, it's ridiculous. But then again, like, there's no balance in this game. Everything is broken, so I guess they're just going wild with this. Then, of course, we have the War Monk, and the War Monks were also a class you could get back in Awakening. Libra was a War Monk. You could promote Lisa into a War Monk. They use axes and staves. Normally, it's never good to mix physical and magical things. Like, if a class can use both magic and physical weapons, historically, they've been pretty bad. Fates, I'm looking at you, Basaras. But I think, you know, all you need to do to make them viable is to give them some good skills and a cool combat art, and they'll be good. We've seen Baltus punch a lot with his fists, so I assume that the War Monk is also going to be good at fists, so that's going to be interesting to see. We also have the Dark Flyer, of course. It returns with a vengeance. Will we see Gale Force? I think it's very likely that we will see Gale Force, guys. I think Gale Force will very much be back. A magical flyer, that sounds incredibly broken. I mean, we all know how good flyers are in tree houses, and giving them magic and potentially Gale Force is going to make them even more busted. Holy crap, they're going to be so good. And of course, lastly, we have the Valkyrie. A Valkyrie is, of course, a class that's been around for a very long while. They will, I think, use recent magic and staves. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Don't quote me on that might be wrong. I do believe that's the case, because Holy Knights, they already use Faith and Healing Magic, so I don't really know how this is going to work out. But I am very, very excited to see the Valkyrie class back. And yeah, again, it all really depends on what kind of skills and combat art they get. Whatever weapons that they are able to use, that won't really tell us the whole story. It's like really what they get on the side that will dictate whether this will be a good class or not. Oh, and a little bit of extra information regarding the classes. Apparently, if you promote Anna into a Trickster, she gets a unique outfit. So that's great. Throwing a bone to the Anna fans here. God knows they got screwed over hard with this DLC. Seriously, no supports. And what is up with that crappy personal skill she has? 5 luck? Wow, if I was an Anna fan, I'd be really pissed at her inclusion in this game. So it's good to see that they're at least giving them a little bit of like a, hey, here you go, a little bit of a nod, you know? Like, it's just an outfit, but at least it's better than nothing. So let's take a look at some of the character profiles, starting with Yuri. And I gotta say, it's so fun to think about how many people googled Fire Emblem and Yuri and got something completely different than what they were looking for. This was probably intentional, and I definitely approve. So he's apparently the leader of the Ashen Wolves. He's a bit of a weirdo, I think. He was expelled for some reason. I don't really know what. They don't really go into it. And he was relocated to the Abyss. So the Abyss seems to be sort of like a trash can that they just throw all the trouble students down. It's like, hey, I don't know what to do with them. Let's just dump them in the Abyss. It's kind of like that, you know, the class in school where they put all the noisy students that, you know, had no hopes of getting anywhere. You just lock them down in a basement somewhere. That seems to be the Ashen Wolves in a nutshell. He has sort of like a crass speech, but underneath that, he is devoted to protecting the denizens of the Abyss. Now, he does come as a trickster, which leads me to believe he's going to be a sneaky fellow. In fact, I mean, I thought it was a girl first time I saw him, so I think he's all about the deception and kind of like, you know, tricking people. Yeah, it's great character analysis there. Yeah, he's a trickster. Of course he tricks people, though. Anyway, yeah, I'm interested in learning more about Yuri. It's going to be interesting to see why he even got dumped down there. So, yeah. Then let's take a look at Constance, best waifu Constance. She comes from the Dresden Empire, of course, like all the best girls do. And she hails from the House Nouvelle. And if you don't remember House Nouvelle, I do not blame you. They're one of the houses that got wiped out immediately by the Brigid Dagda invasion, and Constance is apparently the lone survivor. She dreams of restoring her house, and she's always hunting for the chance to do great things and be acknowledged by the world. She has a polite speech, but is a very bossy girl. This is basically Lara Shell. Like, this is Lara Shell almost copied over from Sacred Stones. Like, her looks, the way she acts, she wants to be acknowledged by the world. I mean, minus the part that she wants to, like, restore her ruined noble house. This is basically La Rochelle. You can go watch my spotlight on her if you want to know more about her. Like, they're so similar. It's clear where they drew their inspiration from. So yeah, and she's going to be a Dark Flyer too, which is going to be kick-ass. She's also probably going to have a crest, I think, since she hails from a noble family. Not necessarily, but I do hope so. I do wonder if we're actually going to have a couple of new crests revealed to us in this DLC. I haven't read anything about it, but that's going to be very interesting to see indeed. And of course I'm going to marry Constance, like 100%. Then we have Baltus, the self-proclaimed brawler king of Leicester, so it's not hard to understand what he'll be good at. Although he does come as a war monk, and apparently they specialize in axes, but we've also seen this guy punch a lot, so I do suppose war monks also are good at fighting with fists. It would seem to be the case. We've even seen him use some kind of special relic fists, which look really powerful. So it says his daring and careless personality doomed him to a life on the run, thus he had to hide in the abyss. He's drawn by a desire to protect the Abyssians who sheltered him and his fighting instincts. He gives any and all intruders a thorough beatdown. So this guy, he seems kind of straightforward, like a cocky, arrogant guy who speaks with the fists, but also wants to protect his friends. So kind of getting the vibes of like Hector plus Caspar. Like that's sort of what I'm getting here. Seems like a really cool guy. I don't really know what else to say about him, aside from the fact that I love his design, and I'm very curious to see what his post-time skip design is going to look like. And also I'm very curious to see those fists that he's using. They look OP as hell. Next up, we have the girl that everyone loves. It's Happy, and she is very happy. Actually, she's not. She's very apathetic. She is a Jake, help me out here.
Lackadaisical.
Thank you. Alright, she... who is unashamedly apathetic. So yeah, we've seen several screenshots of her saying things like, you know, why are we here? Why bother living? Everything's pointless. So we know what her personality is going to be like. I bet her supports will be really fun and not annoying. She shows no interest in any affairs. Nonetheless, as a member of the Ashen Wolves, she fights to repel the intruders from Abyss. That's interesting, actually. Through this profile, we learn that someone or something is attacking the Abyss. We don't know what, but apparently they're under threat, so that's interesting. Hopefully it's not just those who slither in the dark. Apparently she has a unique constitution, which is the reason she's living in the Abyss. I don't know what that means. Is she sick? Is she like a superhuman? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. People are gonna go crazy over this one. Like, she's a redhead, which is something we haven't had. You know, the only like really... People say Annette, but Annette has orange hair. It's not the same. Dorothea's a brunette, and, you know, we really needed a female student with red hair. We had, like, Monica, but she wasn't really a student, so, you know. I'm glad she's here. She has a really unique look, and people are going to obsess over her like crazy. Then, lastly, we have a 5th character profile for someone named Alphard. I just think Alpharad whenever I see this guy. And this guy is not playable by the looks of things. He is rather an important NPC, at least that's what he's described at. And his character profile reads, by order of the Church of Seros, he supervises Abyss. Saddened about the dreadful state of Abyss, overrun by hunger and crime, he led the people towards law and order. He's calm and benevolent, and has earned the trust of the Abyssians despite their disdain of the Church. He was also the one who proposed the creation of the Ashen Wolves. So a very interesting character right here. He sort of is like the supervisor, seems to be playing the role of the authority, probably serves under Rhea in some fashion. I do wonder how, despite having a disdain for the Church, they're still allowed to roam around in the Abyss. Really don't understand why the Church hasn't just killed them. They seem to kill everyone else who don't like them, so I don't understand what's so different about these guys. I guess they're like special or something. I also think there's a chance this guy might be evil. I don't know. Just looking at his portrait, I just get some vibes that he might be evil. I don't know. It's just something about the way he looks, but I guess we need to find out. Alright, so that is all the information I have about Cindered Shadows. As I said, I will be streaming it the moment it goes live over on my YouTube channel, so if you click the notification bell and subscribe to my channel, you will get a notification whenever I go live. So I am very excited to see this. I wonder what it's going to be like. And yeah, I hope to see as many of you there in the chat, so I'm very excited. Let me know what you think about this new DLC in the comment section below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you excited? Are you not excited? What do you think about it so far? I'd love to hear your opinions. And as always, my name's Mangs. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.